Yeah, time went fast, but you felt that time, a lot of it. Like you worked hard, and so that's just a little bit of what Mission Arlington is. I mean, this year we had an entirely like different experience than last year, and last year was still a good trip. It was a shorter trip, and we just getting a taste of a few different things that Mission Arlington provided, and mainly being the distribution center. Got a big taste of that. But this trip was different. It was very much focused on Rainbow Express, and that's the neat thing about Mission Arlington. If y'all don't know, it's like a Sulphur Christian Community Coalition plus Care Help on steroids for the area. Mission Arlington has a distribution center. They do medical relief. They do dental health. They do Rainbow Express, which is backyard Bible clubs. They go to hundreds of locations in the course of a summer. They own over 300 pieces of property with apartment churches that happen on a weekly basis. And they sponsor 55 full-time missionaries in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So that's just a little bit of what they do. And so we just had the opportunity to go and to be part of that. And so this year, we did much more about Rainbow Express, right? And so anyone on that side want to say what Rainbow Express was and kind of a little debriefing of what we did? Jace does have the mic.
It's like a tiny VBS.
A tiny VBS? Yeah, because how many kids would we have on average?
Like 10?
10 to
maybe.
15, give or take, yeah. So it's just a little bit of a VBS. Anyone want to share a little more on it? Like, what are some of the things we did? All right, Peyton?
We did worship with the kids, and we did games, and we did a story time on, like, different books in the Bible.
Yeah. And so we did a lot of that. So, like, what were some of the worship songs we did? Who was over worship? Oh, Whitney.
We did The Lighthouse and Take You at Your Word from VBS. And then we did Father Abraham. What's another one we did? Lord's Army. There was another one.
We did the VBS songs.
Yeah. And, yeah. We did one more, but I don't remember what it was.
Was it Jesus Love Me?
Oh, did we? No, we didn't do that one. Oh, yeah, the Bible. Yeah.
Okay, and did you like leading worship?
It was different, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay. And so that's kind of the thing that we did each day. But each day didn't start with Backyard Bible Club. And so let's just walk through like what a day looked like, and then we'll talk about some of our favorite moments and some of our hardest moments. Y'all cool with that? And so the basic structure started with 5 o'clock. Some people woke up for breakfast to help with breakfast. So raise your hand if you help with breakfast during the course of the week. Raise your hand if you're tired of sausage and egg breakfast burritos. We prepared way more food for what this crew ate, okay? We overspent on the food budget on that. But who never knew how to make a burrito before this? But now you know how to make a burrito. You don't know how to fold them? You don't have, you don't, that's okay. That's all right. You got to come next year and we'll do it again. No. All right. But after that, we got ready for our day, and then we would start off our day with a morning worship and devotion time, Bible reading time with all the other groups that were going for Rainbow Express. And so we were joined with like 400 minimum other youth, middle school, high schoolers, adults, and we would just worship. And so anyone got some neat things to say about that time or how those moments were?
They played a lot of different songs, especially by Elevation Worship, and I think we're going to start incorporating that into ours, a few of the ones that we picked up.
Okay. Have any of y'all ever been in a room with that compact? No. Okay. It was full every time. It was full every time.
And everyone was worshiping. There wasn't like a single everyone was worshiping. There was not a single person not praising God. So it was, and then it was just amazing, everybody going together and just getting everybody hyped up to be able to go and spread the word to younger kids.
Yeah, it was a great way to start the day. I know I fell asleep a couple of times.
So did
He's got
Tyler.
pictures. He's got the receipts. I was tired. Got me some energy drinks through the week. But what was neat about that worship time, I don't know if y'all noticed, but the instruments and the vocals weren't all plugged into the main speakers. So like a couple of the mics went through the main speakers and the rest were what called monitors. So they just cranked those up. And so the people in the back of the room, if you ever had that time to go in the back, you couldn't really hear the stage. You had all these hundreds of kids in front, but what you could hear is the voices in front of you from the crowd singing. And so there was several moments, it felt like to me, where it's like the crowd overpowered what was happening on the stage, and that was a very beautiful moment. Some very powerful moments in that. Okay? And so then we would leave and we go and get our box for the day and go get our supplies, and we would go to 2 different Rainbow Express locations in the course of a day. And the first one we were at was the La Joel apartments. And so what were some really, when we got there, what was the first thing y'all had to do? All right. You had to go knock on doors. Did y'all know the people who were knocking on doors? No. Anyone have some interesting conversations at some doors?
You want to go? You want to tell the story?
So I'm knocking on the door. Mind you, this is 10 o'clock in the morning. And the guy opens the door, and he's almost screaming at me, "Can y'all stop knocking on the door so early in the morning?" And I just look at him, and I just walk away because I had nothing to say. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. It's not early. And he's dead serious. He was like, "I'm going to call somebody." And I'm like, "Okay." And George was about to lose it. But
So, oh, what? So, oh, no. That day, me and Bo woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go make burritos for the people, right? So we get to the place, like the same door. I'm telling you, it's early. I'm tired. I think I fell asleep during the worship song. I definitely did. I was in Emma hitting a talent for one day. And so he starts screaming at Talon, and I was like, "Hold up. First of all, you're not going to be screaming at my little brother like this. I don't play no games like that." You all look at me.
I'm like, "George, just walk away."
And Bo's like, "George, come on." I was like, "No, you can't let that happen. We are here to serve. Why is he screaming at him?" And I don't think I was in the right mind. And
we just walked away from that area.
Which is good. So what was yours? Did you have a story?
We had some very interesting people answer the doors, of course, but one of them, which was discouraging for me, was a woman, and she had 2 little boys. And they did not speak English very well, but they read, like, my phone. They saw, like, what we were doing, because I had it in Spanish. But every day, they would talk to each other on how to tell me no, because I could tell they were trying to say no. And I would just have to stand there every day. It was every day. And they were the same little voice, bouncing off the walls. I was like, "Come on, just please, one day," which unfortunately they did not join us, but that was very discouraging for us. And there's a lot of shirtless, scary men.
All right, so yeah. So there was a crew that stayed back at our location and would set up kind of for the day while the rest went in pairs or in trios to go and knock on doors. And eventually we'd have kids coming, some of them with their moms, dropping them off. But eventually we would get started, right? And what did they like doing the most?
They liked playing tag in the mornings, and then in the afternoon, they liked playing tag.
It was a lot of tag. Yeah, a lot of tag. But we also, eventually we got some soccer going in the morning, and that went well. They had a nice fenced-in location for soccer, And so we got permission to use that. Normally, Mission Arlington doesn't let you use soccer balls or anything like that because they don't want windows being busted out, that type of thing. But they gave us the go ahead to use that. But then we would get started with worship. And then what was after that normally? Bible verse. So who was involved with sharing the memory verse for the week? Everyone to an extent, right? And so how did that go? Anyone want to share a little bit about that? What was the memory verse?
Oh, it was, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Galatians 2:20.
Now, Aubrey, that was a great job because I didn't even have it memorized. But how did you learn it?
So the first day was rough.
No. I mean, like you. How did you best learn the verse?
I had to say it.
You had to teach it?
Yes, teaching it is what helped me because I practiced with Quincy that night before, and I practiced over and over and over, but it never really stuck until I was put in a situation where I needed to teach others about it, which this was a very deep verse. Like, this verse is something that, y'all should actually look into it too, because it's going into no longer living in your own selfish ways, basically. Like, it wants you to be like, okay, once you've decided you're a Christian, that means that your life needs to change and you need to live for God and not for yourself anymore, which was...
Preach. All right. And so we would share memory verse. A lot of people involved. I know one day was sharing. The next day was more activity. And by the end, we were doing different activities to help them. But overall, like this goes for everyone. You nod your head. Was the first day the most difficult day? Why would you say that? Quincy, why would you say the first day was the difficult day?
We were just getting the hang of things. We
Getting the
didn't
hang
really
of
know what
things?
We were doing yet.
So do you think by the end of it we had a handle on things? Okay, yeah. I would agree. And so the first morning, do any of y'all like have some special moments or memories from the morning Rainbow Express times? No, any morning, just the first location. I'm sorry, I should have said that a little better.
There was a little boy, his name was Rodrigo, and he got saved with me, and that was the first time I've actually prayed with a little boy and being saved, and I had help, trust me, but it was really cool to see that, especially for somebody, because he just had a fire for God, and you could tell, because even like when we were doing our memory verses, like if the other kids weren't paying attention, he'd be like first to raise his hand, like I know the answer to this, like this is like I love this, and that was cool.
That was my story.
All right, and so those are some of the, I know you'll have more. You ain't sure if you need to. But what were some of the other things we did during Rainbow Express? Did we have a story time? All right, so who led on the stories? All right, and so Zach, tell us how that went for you, how you were nervous or anything like that. Just share your experience with sharing the story each day.
Well, the morning was probably the more difficult one because most of them knew English, so they could hear what I was saying. And the second group, only one kid really spoke English, so it was me just talking to the one kid. So the first group I was really nervous for, and I was stuttering a lot, but by the time we got to the second group, like at the end, I was talking to him, continuously talking to him. It didn't, like, what's the word I'm looking for? What?
You were in a rhythm?
Yes, I got into more of a rhythm. Yes, that's what I was looking for. And even afterwards, I was talking with the kids afterwards, trying to like help them see where they need to go. And I was even glad whenever Matthew got. So yeah. Matthew that was a really fun experience, and that was really cool to see.
Yeah. And so we'll talk a little bit more about Matthew when we get to the second group. But is there any other real cool memories, moments from the first? All right.
It started the second day whenever they allowed us to play soccer. That's all they looked forward to, was playing soccer with someone new every day. And I feel like they had really fun. So did I.
So like the second to last day, we walked a little boy home, and he was like 3 or 4, And we said, okay, bye, see you tomorrow. And he said, bye, we love you. And it was really cute.
On the first day, we had puppets, and like throughout the week, we kind of just got rid of them because it was not working.
True.
And well, when we were doing the puppets, like all you could see was the puppet in Zach's head.
Zach was a puppet. No. Okay. Maddie, did you have any special moments from the first area? Did you get any really cool opportunities to just get one-on-one with a kid or share during the craft times? Mike.
I just enjoyed being able to talk to some of the little kids about things. We started doing the review time during the crafts, so I didn't get to conversate as much with them.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay. All right, so we went in with a plan. By the end of the week, did that plan change?
yes.
Yes, because we had to adapt, right? We found some things worked better in the mornings than in the afternoons and vice versa, and that just allowed us different opportunities. And so we would finish with the morning each day around noon, so we'd do it from 10 to noon. We'd go eat a really fast lunch, and then we go right back to worship again, and there was a big whole group from Arkansas, and they did the pig suey thing, and y'all don't remember that? Were y'all not in there for that? Okay, some of y'all were. Guess some of y'all weren't. You were asleep. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's like their whole mantra at the University of Arkansas. Woo, pig suey. Yeah. You don't remember that? That was like day 2. Okay. By all means, that's just a random comment. But then we would go to our second location, called the 1012s apartments is what they were called, I believe. And how was that group different from the first group?
I'm pretty sure the first day, not a single one of them spoke proper English, except for Levi. And we couldn't communicate with them until I'd say the second or third day. And even then, it still wasn't as good as we'd like it to be.
Any other difficulties? Or what were some other differences between the two? Okay. So would you say that the language barrier was very difficult?
For sure.
Language barrier was a pretty difficult thing. I haven't been in any type of Spanish class in like 15 years or something like that, and I was like, "Oop, all right, Google Translate." Did anyone have to use Google Translate? Okay, yeah, and so that was just something we had to wrestle. But when words failed, what did you do to still show them love and kindness?
So an example was there was this little boy, and he was around 2-ish, and he had an older sister with him who was a little bit older. They would even though we couldn't understand each other, we could make facial expressions and movements. Like one of them was tag. Like we could just be like, tag, you're it, say it, and then run away, and they'd kind of get the gist. So then we could just do that, and we incorporated that into our stories too, whenever we were sitting down. And just kind of be like the heart sign, like Jesus loves you. Like we would point to the man, be like, that's Jesus. Jesus loves you. And we would just go back and forth. And even just getting to know each other, we would say what little Spanish we knew. Just having, asking about their day, asking what their favorite color was. Just something to help them open up to be more okay with talking to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone else?
The first day, whenever we showed up, there was only one game I could teach them besides tag, and that was red light, green light. Because I know a little bit of Spanish, so I just told them if I say rojo, you move. No, rojo, you don't move. And if I say verde, then you get to go. And we played red light, green light for about 20 minutes. And they didn't get bored of it, except for us.
So many different ways that you can make red light, green light work, right? All right, and so once we would get done at each location, like we'd still play rec, we'd do a craft each day. The craft was associated with the story. We would pack up and we would head back, drop our box off that we had with our attendance sheets, and when we would go and try to figure out what we were doing next. Some days we had Domino's, a couple of times we had Chick-fil-A. Jace learned to love Chick-fil-A. It's now his favorite fast food chain in the world. He still wants Chicken Express, but I think we made it up to him in the end. But then we would go, we were staying at a church. We were staying at a church in the middle of like a bunch of apartments at Fuller Fellowship, and they didn't have showers. So we had to pack up and go and meet up at a different location and share space with another group that brought 60-plus people from Alabama. And so we just had to take turns on that. But it was a fun time. It was really easy. And were there any special moments like made during like the later afternoon into evening times? Okay. Anyone share some stories?
Well, the last day the Alabama group was gone. So after showers, we all played hide and seek upstairs with the lights out, and I think a few times I got on like a partition, like a wall, and it had a little clearing, so I was almost in the roof, and then I almost fell a few times, and then we played like I don't know how to explain it, Among Us kind of game. And Timothy is horribly mischievous at that, and then every time he was the killer, he always won, and he didn't even kill. He'd talk everybody else into voting everybody else off.
And the hide and seek in the dark, Timothy had way too much fun with it. It was like pitch black, and he had a speaker playing The Purge. Yeah. But Timothy was walking around with the speaker like this, so like you just like see his shadow. Yeah, jungle and purge.
He would just walk around in circles and just play.
And then
He would beat on the like door.
and then like the boys, they would like get on their hands and their feet and like run at us. And it was like they would scream at us too.
Y'all spilling too much. What about some of the other nights? What were some other things that y'all did as a group?
Oh yeah, I got it. So there was this one night, right? And like I think it was like the first night we was there. We played spoons, and so I don't know, like pretty much barely anybody knew how to play. It was like two people that didn't know how to play it, and so you'd see me. I jumped from the end of the table onto the table to grab a spoon, and I missed. I went to go sit down, and I was mad that day. Never played spoons again. I quit.
While we were playing spoons, it was the very first round, and Zach went to grab a spoon and just like shoved me completely out the way, and I was
And I'll do it again.
I'll do it again.
Don't play a game with Zach.
On Wednesday night, so we were at the church, and there was like a group that like came, like the people that go to that church came, and we played Nine Square with them. And it turns out we were the only church or only group had ever stayed there that like came out and played with them. And I just thought that was like really special, cause like we all enjoyed it. Like that was probably one of my favorite nights.
While we was taking showers one time, we was in a wrestling thing. No.
Hold on, wait. Okay, what he means is okay, there was a wrestling team in the gym outside of where we were showering. We did not wrestle in the showers, George.
My bad. Yeah, so there was a mat. It was like a gym connected to like the showers. I swear.
Bro went straight from shower to
We had clothes on. Yeah, we had clothes on.
We're out of the showers, and there's a wrestling. They have an Arlington wrestling team in the. They pull their mats out, and they're in the gym wrestling. And George tries to go in there, and this lady's like, "No, if you go to the hospital, we have no insurance on you or something like that." And then he's talking crap with one of the dudes, and the dude definitely would have whooped all of us. All of us.
We said, you can't beat him, Zach, and he said, yes, I could. And we was like, get out. Get out. I don't want to say my testimony.
You gotta give George 2 minutes to warm up on the mic before we can give it to him. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. Do y'all feel like the group got closer overall? Do you feel like we did have some that went the previous year, and then we had some that went this year, and we had some that were already close friends, and we had some that were like, all right, I'm giving this trip a shot, but like I am nervous about all of it. Would anyone like to speak to that type of experience? Do you to y'all feeling closer together, or feeling like you made new friends as part of it?
So when I signed up for the trip, and I only talked to a few people, and then by the end of the trip, we talked the whole way home, and the bus ride up there was silent, not one word was spoken. And then in the girls' van, but on the way home, it was we talked the entire time, and just the whole time we got really close. Yeah.
Anyone else on that?
No. Oh, yeah. Bro. Oh, yeah. So it was my first, for the end of the ride, we went to Buc-ee's, and it was my first time ever going to Buc-ee's. I was amazed. As y'all can see, yeah, got the hoodie. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, no. But, the whole ride there, right, it was just straight country music. I'm sitting there, I'm like, so when are we going to play something else? Jace, change the channel. Jace is like, bro, I love this song. Yeah, man. I'm like, I'm about to cry if I have to listen to another song. Please.
But eventually, we did play Not Like Us and No Role Models. Clean.
Whoa.
Clean. So George had his fun with that one, but it was the clean version.
Yes, we definitely played clean music.
So Zach, how do you feel this was your first trip? I know you're starting to hang out with these guys a little more. How do you feel like you grew just closer to a group during this time?
Well, I was already friends with these three stupid people, but
Shots fired.
but the rest of them I talked to probably once or twice. I haven't really had that many conversations with. I'm scared of one's father now, terrified. But no, we're not sharing that story at all.
You did not tell that story.
No, that story does not go anywhere.
Is he in here?
No, he is not, thankfully. But so yeah, by the first day I didn't really know anyone else besides these three. But by the end I felt like I was able to talk to everybody. I didn't really have a problem with anybody, and it was a good fun time. Aubrey, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Don't play a game where you hit each other unless you figure out who you're related to. All right. So I feel like that was just a really special trip. But now I want everyone to just kind of go around and share what is one way you feel like you grew over the course of the trip. What is at least one way? You can share more if you need to, but everyone get a chance to share at some point in whatever order. So Maddie, how do you feel like you grew?
Okay, I still never go first, but okay. I'm gonna skip. Go ahead and first because I'm trying to.
That's okay.
My Spanish.
Yeah? Say your how do you say your name in Spanish?
Me llamo Jace.
Perfect.
I grew by being able to actually have conversations with people.
Yeah.
And speak a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah, Peyton, so we didn't just have children come to the backyard Bible clubs. We had several youth, a couple in the morning, but more it seemed in the afternoon. And Peyton grew a good friendship with a girl named Riley, and they were able to have really good conversations along with some of the adults. And that's just how it went. Like if something happened or someone showed up that wasn't there before, like the group kind of altered to meet needs. And like whenever y'all get over here, I want love y'all to share about Martin and Matthew and stuff like that, along with how y'all grew. So. No, that was awesome. What about you, Quincy?
I feel like I've gotten a little bit bolder.
Okay.
No, because knocking on people's doors is scary.
It is. It is.
We grew in the struggles, like whenever things are harder to because usually when we do VBS here, it's very easy to go talk to these kids and be able to just say it, and they're always open. But there, I noticed there's a lot less. They were a lot less open, and we had a language barrier. So I mean, it was very, very difficult to share the gospel with people who were kind of just there for the snacks at first. I definitely think that we moved them because at the very end, I mean, a lot of them. I mean, they were praising with us, which was really cool to see.
Okay.
I grew outside of my comfort zone because Timothy, he's very good at no, you're going to get out. You're not gonna stay in your bubble. At the worship, me and Quincy wanted to sit on the back, but Timothy's no, y'all have to sit on the front. And he's I don't care. You'll be fine. And prayer time, at the afternoon worship, we had to do a prayer time, and I've never really prayed with a bunch of people, but it got easier as the week went on.
I think just my overall comprehension of the Spanish language, by the end of it, I was actually able to understand what they were telling me whenever I'd go and have a conversation with them at their doors.
There was a 13-year-old guy named Matthew that me, George, and Bo and Zach were able to kind of talk to. So he ended up getting saved, and we all prayed over him over that, and that was a really special and first-time moment for I think all of us. And that was it was really special, and there was a lot of questions that I think we were all able to answer, put together, but it was very, very unique moment.
Yeah, Matthew was a really unique guy. He wasn't like the rest of them where they didn't comprehend what we were saying. He actually comprehended. And the day that they came, they had brought a football, so I got to connect with him because, I mean, he played football, and I played football, and so at the last day, it was all right, all games aside, do you love Jesus? And he was like, yeah. I was like, do you believe in Jesus? He was like, yeah. So we took him, me, Bo, Talon, and Zach. We took him to a bench, and we, like Talon said, we prayed for him. We asked him. Yeah, he prayed. He asked for the Lord to be in his life and stuff like that.
I actually really wasn't there for any of the thing with Matthew. I only got there at the end, so I don't know much on it. But
how did y'all grow? You can go back and do that now too.
well, I grew in two ways. One, I was able to grow in the Gospels and being able to preach them, help talk to people about them, and just be able to connect with others. I also grew in my distrust of Talon and George for not going on the Titan 3 times.
You skipped him.
So what happened was that.
No. How you grew.
Oh, okay. Well, we grew. I mean, just learning to pray because that was our first time praying with somebody who was receiving Christ, and so it was a very unique and personal friendship that we grew right then, and that was just a nice part of the trip.
It was. Yeah, we grew. Yeah, we actually really grew real personal. Not like that, but we grew real personal together as a force. As brothers in Christ, and we actually added Matthew to brothers in Christ with us. It felt good.
And then Zach. So we went on this ride called the Titan.
Maddie, come on.
Okay. So it was definitely, I got to grow in the Spanish language and be able to figure out, like, because the last time I took Spanish was 8th grade, and now I'm a 12th grader, so that's 4 years. So I was getting to, like, renew that Spanish, but also learn more Spanish and be able to, like, start figuring out sentences with those kids, as well as it pushed me out of my boundaries with, like, our VBS is so easy, and then we came to there, and it was, like a struggle, so.
Yeah, did any of you have to grow in patience over the course of the week?
Yes.
Figuring out, again, how a plan has to change in the moment. But then it was neat how God provided. One of my favorite moments, in my goal, anytime we go on a trip, whether it's a youth camp or if it's a mission trip or something like that, we're in a long area, my goal is to put in structure, reinforce things at the beginning of the week, so by the end of the week, I can act like I'm not there, and y'all are just in the zone. For youth camp, that comes more during the group time, share time and ultimately with that is that y'all are just sharing to each other, engaging each other in peers. But with a mission trip, it's I want y'all to be boss, right? And did y'all feel like that to an extent? Yeah, and that's the goal of it, right? That we don't go on that trip for me or for Miss Tammy. It's for y'all and to get that exposure. And we had a great time, y'all. And then that was Monday through Friday. But then Monday through Thursday. But then Friday came, and Friday was more of a relaxing day. So what are let's start off in the morning. What did we do first once we got out? Where did we go first? We slept in for 30 minutes.
Our first stop was what was the college? It was Southwestern Seminary, and we got to view their college basically, and it was pretty cool. All the things they had.
Yeah, what are some of the things y'all learned there or saw?
Well, we learned a lot of the history of the college and the people who founded it, and a painting about one of the guys. But and then also, like, if you're in a Southern Baptist church, which is our church is considered, so if you go there, you get like $6,000 off of your tuition every year. So that was pretty cool.
One of my favorite parts of it was, like, on the sidewalk outside, there was missionaries that had left, like, went to that college and, like, went out in the field, and it was their names, how they died, and, like, their age, and they were, like, crazy. It was, like, home invasions, and, like, one was, like, tortured, and it was, like, in the field of missionary, so that was really cool. The torture was from,
I think me and Zach, we had made it like a pact. We was like, so we want to go to this college because, like, it was actually like, I've been to like 3 colleges, like college tours. I went to Xavier, I went to Dillard's, and that's in New Orleans. But when I went to this Texas college, I feel like it moved, like something moved me, and I was like, I want to go to this college, like I'm down to sign up for it because it's actually like something I would really do. And so like me and Zach made a pact, and we was like, we might have to sign up for this.
And so the goal going to Southwestern, a few weeks ago, I preached on where God might lead you. That could be full-time ministry in terms of a pastoral. It could lead you to being a missionary, or it could lead you to whatever role he has you in, but you can do it ultimately for the glory of God. And when we talked about missions, we talked about Lottie Moon. And what was really neat, and that was the main reason I thought, is because they have a Lottie Moon exhibit where like they took the shingles and things that she owned and they made this really nice exhibit in their missions hall. And y'all all kind of went through that, and you were crazy to think she was only 4'3", and just wee little lady had such an impact for Jesus over in China. And ultimately, I think it was just a good role. I had a parent come up to me on Sunday and said, like, they were curious as to why we did that, but then they realized it's like what the goal is. You're in high school. How many of you are juniors? How many of you are juniors or just finished your junior year? Right? How many of you just graduated? One, no. How many of you are going into your junior year, so you just finished your sophomore year? Okay, yeah. And so my goal what I need to do is I need to prepare middle schoolers to be great high schoolers. And I need to prepare high schoolers to be great college students or vocational, whatever your goal might be. And so we got to have that next step and get that thought in your mind. Zach, did you tour colleges before? That was your first one. Did it start to open your eyes a little bit more to other possibilities? Yeah. And what's really neat there is also just the seminary for masters. So, we did that, and then we got free pizza there, which was nice. And then where did we go? Six Flags. So, who has a funny story to share from Six Flags? Peyton, you went first. So where'd that mic go? Oh, you got a mic. Go for it.
Okay, so we went on the Titan. It was me, Aubrey, Whitney, and Quincy, and Timothy.
Yeah.
And I sat right next to Timothy, and we went up, and then whenever we went down the drop, I look over, and he's like...
I don't do roller coasters at all. Yeah, I got peer pressured onto the tallest roller coaster at Six Flags, and I blacked out, and it took me about an hour to recoup at the end of all of it. So I rode 3 rides that day, starting with the worst. So what other fun stories do we have from Six Flags?
It's another Titan story. So by the end, this was closer to the end of the time. We just did the Giant, and it was me, Talon, George, Bo, and Chloe. And they're like, let's do the Titan. I was like, okay, I'm not bad with roller coasters. I've never passed out on one. We get in there, and like, okay, this is gonna be normal. We get right up to after the lift hill, straight drop, I was out. Gone. I don't wake up till about halfway through it. Yeah, and so, afterwards, they're like, let's do it again. And I was like, sure, let's do this again. It should be fun. Same thing happened. By the third one, Bo and Chloe, they decide to leave. And like, as we're walking up, 2 people reserved the row that they were gonna have. So I'm left there by myself. And then again, like clockwork, we get after the lift hill, I'm out. And so there was nobody there to help me. And so I was scared. You basically did.
We sat there at the top. I kept looking at you on the roller coaster.
Well, one of y'all could have came back over and sat in the empty spot that was next to me.
Well,
Yeah, but neither y'all just like left.
we apologize.
Yeah.
So now I worry about Zach's ability to trust others. Because they should have, when he told them he passed out twice, they should have encouraged him to not do it again. We asked him. Good force.
The first one, he passed out, and then after the ride, he like stuttered. So we were a little worried. So we waited a little bit, and then he was like, "Yeah, I want to go again." And we all wanted to go again, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll go." And we went the second time, and he didn't stutter after the second time. So we were like, "So he got better." And then so he got more used to it. And then the third time, it was probably worse. Me and George ended up not being able to go, and so we just waited on the side until he got back, and he was done after that.
When I thought Zach looked like he was about to die, it looked like it. He was very much spaced out. Any other fun stories from Six Flags? Go for it.
Okay, so right after we rode the Titan, I was like, I'm not doing another roller coaster. So I went with, I don't know his name, but it was
Brandon
an adult,
is some of our friends up there.
And we went down this log ride, but after that, we went on this like bull ride thing, and I made a friend from one of the other groups from Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. But y'all, did y'all not have a crazy
She has a
time?
story.
Oh, yeah. Tell your story. Come on, Aubrey.
So I went on the Titan the first time, and we did fine. And then I was like, let's go again. So we went again. I rode in the front this time. And then I blacked out twice. So then we took a break, right? So then later on in the evening, we decided to go on Mr. Freeze, me and Whitney and Bo. So I was not looking forward to that one because I really didn't like getting shot backwards, 60 miles an hour. But I still got on it, and I rode the front, of course. But then, after the initial backwards, I don't remember the rest of the ride.
Wild.
And I woke up with a very bad headache. And then we decided to ride Joker right after that.
We're learning some problem-solving skills or some discernment of what's wise and what's not wise
I
to
have
do.
a very bad headache after that.
And so we went to Six Flags, and we had a great time just hanging out that day. And then we finished the day at Babe's Chicken. Jace, you want to share anything about that? Get that man the mic. Talk about this food.
It was good. They had biscuits, chicken, cream corn, mashed potatoes. I didn't eat no salad. I didn't want that. But it was good.
It was good food.
They're good.
Good. And so that would kind of be like the more we do Mission Arlington, we'll probably end up at Babe's every time. Go ahead.
The biscuits were really good.
Biscuits are really good.
Yeah, we had like 7 plates of them.
Yep.
And we had like a giant bag full of biscuits by the end.
We also didn't just have a bag of biscuits. Talon wanted to bring a bag of the sauce.
So they don't have to-go boxes. So you just throw everything in the bag. And the sauce was really good, so I threw the barbecue sauce in the bag and tied it up. And it was pretty good.
I have a video of it.
I put mashed potatoes in a bag.
But Jace didn't go over like the whole food thing. Like you get half a chicken, you get a breast, a wing, a leg, and a thigh, and then you get or chicken tenders or a steak, I think, or catfish, and then all for $20 with unlimited sides, potatoes, gravy, cream corn, biscuits, and green beans. It was really good.
We kept your son safe. We didn't order the catfish. Yes, ma'am. I sat next to him. Catfish did sound good, though.
Oh, can I say something?
Let's try it. No.
Can I say something else?
No. So it was a culmination. It was a hard week. It was a worthwhile week. And we ended on a fun highlight. And so the last question I have is, do y'all want to go again?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.